As renewables reshape the rhythm of the grid, TSOs are turning to software to stay ahead of volatility and cyber risk.
This is Powering the Future, a podcast series brought to you by Smart Grid Forums. One planet, one power grid.
I'm Mandana White, and today I'm joined by Mirko Pracht of 50 Hertz Transmission and Walter Geelen from Elia Group. We're talking about the operational reality of the energy transition. We'll also dig into why collaborating with fellow European utilities is becoming a strategic advantage. Hello, Mirko. Hi, Walter. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, thank you.
Hello, thank you.
Right. So before we get started on the conversation, a very interesting conversation that we're going to have today, it would be really great for our audience to know a little bit more about your backgrounds in terms of your roles, your responsibilities, and some of your priorities in your organization right now.
Yes, I'm Mirko Pracht, leading the Department of System Digitalization and System Operations at 50 Hertz. 50 Hertz is a transmission system operator. We are planning, building, maintaining, owning and operating the grid, and with the digitalization and system operations. We are quite close to our colleagues for the control centers and pushing forward the digitalization and transformation aspects.
And Walter, how about yourself?
Yeah, Walter Geelen. So I'm responsible for the National Control Center in Belgium. Maybe zooming out a little bit, Elia is an European transmission operator. With, besides the international part from Elia Grid International, we have two strong local TSOs, one in the northeast of Germany, 50 Hertz, and then we have Elia as the responsible for the transition system in Belgium. And like Mirko said, we are responsible for maintaining, operating, planning the grid. Mm-hmm. And as the head of the National Control Center, we have to operate the grid 24/7 a day, 365 days a year. And so it means that you have to make sure that you keep the lights on a daily basis.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you for that background. So we're going to have a very interesting conversation about the energy transition today and how Elia Group are responding to that with a suite of solutions that are really on point for utilities at this time. But perhaps we can talk about the impact of the energy transition in general and renewable integration. What have you been experiencing in terms of that, the impact of this on grid operations?
Like you said, the energy transition is fully ongoing for the moment. And one of the core challenges that we face is, I would say, navigate yourself within the energy trilemma. Everyone wants to have a green and clean energy, secure, reliable, and hopefully also affordable. That's nowadays a very important topic also within the European context. And so making sure that you navigate each day within this energy dilemma is becoming more complex. We see that the energy transition is bringing a lot of positive things. We have more and more renewables. I think in Belgium, we are roughly at 35% of the electricity mix that is now brought by renewables, and Germany even way more. I think we're close to 60. You have a lot of new players in the market, battery players. We have electrification ongoing, not only on industry, but also on household level. You have data centers that are coming in, but also on household level, more and more heat pumps, electrical vehicles, and so on. And so it becomes quite complex to manage your grid on a daily basis. Where in the past, keeping your system within the operational limits regarding frequency, voltage, stability was more a solo optimization. More and more it's becoming a complex part of bringing these three different angles together. And to be honest, if you saw the Iberian blackouts, was also a cascade effect from one element to another one. So it won't be able anymore for a human being without, I would say, innovation, digitalization, optimization to manage the grid 24/7 a day.
Okay. Now, in response to that, I know that the Elia Group have developed their own suite of software tools to manage this much more volatile grid environment. And can you tell us a bit about what the nature of those tools are and also what led you to want to develop your own tool?
Yes, basically, with the digitalization and system operation, we are very close to our colleagues, and in a way, we are feeling the challenges for the control center and the aspects they have to managing in their daily work. And based on that, what we observe is when looking into digital products and what we are presenting to the control centers in this direction is that we have to improve the adaptability of components, that we have to increase the speed, the time to commissioning in a way, the time we can use to bring applications to the control center. And all the applications and the software components we are delivering need a very strong stability, because what you are bringing to the control center is in a daily use, is in a 24/7 resilient operation mode. So you need a good combination of innovation, adaptability, flexibility in one dimension, and a very robust solution we are presenting to the control center in the second dimension. Based on that, we decided to start MCCS, is our approach to having a modular control center environment, meaning that we are orchestrating several modules into one platform. It's a kind of platform principle, and make it possible to integrate additional modules into this environment. You can see it as a kind of plug and play principle. So we can add additional functionalities and later on even removing some of the modules in case they are not needed anymore. And with that, we want to increase the flexibility. We want to faster react on new requirements. And based on that, providing good solutions. And some of the aspects Walter mentioned are showing that we have to be fast in that and that we need the flexibility. So we started MCCS with an organization at the beginning, more or less 3 people. Now we are approximately 150 of internals and externals working on the solutions, partly for the, I would say, the more platform principles, and then for the specific modules in regards to typical SCADA functionalities and EMS functionalities, which are very necessary in the control center. And as I said, we are working on our own on that. So we are creating our own expertise in providing such functionalities. But in the same way as it is a platform principle, also making the opportunity to integrate additional modules into this environment, which are coming from the market or from other TSOs.
All right. So do you have some concrete applications of MCCS that are being used in the field at the moment?
I think we are short to D-Day, I would say, because 1st of April, I think, we will bring live our first added value module like Volt Control, which is a joint development between 50Hertz and Elia, where you're trying to optimize the way you manage voltages in real time. Side note, we will face 3 consecutive summers in Belgium without nuclear production. So we know that voltage management will be an issue or will be more complicated in the coming years. And so together with the MCCS colleagues, we developed a tool which is called Volt Control to optimize and in the end also automate voltage actions. And so that the human being within the control room is helped by this kind of optimization. And then secondly, Mirko already talked about it, about the topological optimization, which is also a joint project and cooperation between Elia, 50Hertz, and then RTE, where you are looking into how can topological actions in the end reduce your congestion management costs, because these are kind of non-costly measures, and so they are really interesting to leverage on the huge amount of congestion management costs, definitely in Germany, that we are having for the moment. So there are 2 concrete examples from tools that we will bring live in this year and probably in the next years, and where cooperation is naturally key between the different TSOs.
Right. Okay. And I'm interested to know what drove the decision to do that internally rather than to work with suppliers in the traditional way and input into their development of tools.
So basically, one important dimension is that it is very helpful to have an increased digital expertise in-house of the TSOs, learning and understanding how to provide control center applications, and becoming more expert in the way of what is necessary to do that, and learning the adaptability and the flexibility behind. And with that, also addressing in an improved way to the market what are the necessary modules and components we need from the market.
Right.
Secondly, as we started MCCS, there was not a comparable approach on the market available to going into this more modular and structured design of having different modules we can orchestrate in an environment. And in the third dimension, also observing that a lot of other TSOs are going in a quite comparable direction, and that it can be beneficial to improve the cooperation and the co-creation between TSOs and also market participants like industrial companies and research activities to more orchestrate different modules into one solution which can be used in the control center.
Yes, and certainly at this time, I think regional strength is a real focus for all utilities. So it's great that you're able to partner with neighbouring utilities. What are your sort of ambitions for that collaboration across the region with other utilities?
There are several ones from our colleagues in the control centers and from system operations. So there are a lot of good collaborations how to operate the grid. And Walter and the team and also our other system operators have strong collaborations to managing the grid in Europe. And what we do in a way is doing the same for digitalization. So it's also helpful to have a good collaboration with our partners like NRDNet or our colleagues in France with RTE to collaborate with, exchanging expertise in what is the best way to creating digital products, what is the best way to be fast and adaptive to solutions in the control center and provide good solutions, and how we can learn from each other and maybe even so changing and sharing software components with each other. So with that, we are enabling in a way the situation of learning from each other and providing good solutions where we can benefit for the interest of society and for good quality of and good solutions in the control center itself.
Now, of course, open source is at the heart of your offering. Traditionally, I think the power sector has been a little ambivalent about open source. You know, we recognize the benefits, but also see some risks in terms of reliability and security. So can you tell us how that agenda has moved on and what you're finding in terms of the benefits and how you're managing some of the risks?
So basically, what we are doing actually is a kind of step-by-step approach. So we are starting with the first components and the topology optimization, which is the very first module we are sharing on an open source base. And learning from that by the fact that our colleagues at RTE are also observing and working with the source code we are providing, contributing to the source code, and also give us feedback in the way of how we are organizing and have created and structured the code. By that, we are getting more and more people involved into working with the source code we have provided, and we are strongly believe that when a lot of people are looking into the code, giving feedback, and we are working collaboratively on the topic, the structure, the software components we are creating can become even stronger and enriched by the fact that a broader open source community is working with it. And in the same way, even in case there are some security aspects or some bugs with, maybe in the structure itself, this can be reported, this can be corrected, and working in this collaborative mode is also possible for software components for control centers, as we are observing in the open source communities in general. And we are going the first steps into this community and into this area to learning and to understanding what is the best way to collaborate and also getting practice in the structures.
So as the head of control center, what are your wishes for keeping the control center in good shape?
Well, looking at the past, we have a quite decent track record regarding system operations. And we are one of the European TSOs where system reliability was really at a high standard. And keeping this in the future will be a challenge. The environment is becoming more and more complex. And so keeping it at the same level will be quite a challenge. And the only way that we can do it is by innovation and digitalization. It is the only way to keep the grid reliable, secure, but also affordable.
Great. Well, thank you very much for sharing your insights with us today. And of course, we're delighted that Elia Group are going to be present at the SGT 26 Paris conference at the end of March. You're going to have a contribution on the plenary sessions on day one, but also a more technical presentation during one of the tracks on renewable integration. Perhaps a quick insight into what you'll be sharing there would be helpful as well.
Yes, we will be there with a different presentation. One of them will be the discussion about open source with the colleagues of RTE and Elia and some more. and the more technical related to the wide area monitoring analysis, and which is more technical session. And we are happy to having these presentations during the next conference.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for your insights. And we look forward to meeting the Elia Group team on site at SGT26 in Paris at the end of March. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Join us again next time as we discuss another big topic shaping the future of the power grid. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Smart Grid Forums, and to follow us on LinkedIn. Until then, thanks for watching and listening.
This is Powering the Future, a podcast series brought to you by Smart Grid Forums. One planet, one power grid.